Hi everybody. Very excited about this coming Sunday and our start in a new series through the book of Exodus. For me, it's something always special and pretty exciting when we start a new book of the Bible. And as we spend the next many weeks going through the book of Exodus, our emphasis in the book as a whole is to see how God is with us and how God reveals Himself to us through every phase of our lives and how He shows Himself to be God and the one that we need. Now, we're going to find out later on in the book of Exodus, this is expressed to Moses as God reveals Himself to Moses as being the great I Am. And so we're going to carry that theme of I Am throughout the whole book of Exodus, starting with this week, Exodus chapter 1, when we see how God demonstrates, I am present in your suffering. You see, because in Exodus chapter 1, it's all about this great transition of the people of Israel as they came into Egypt at the end of the book of Genesis, and now in the first chapter of Exodus, we see their bondage, their misery, how they're a victimized and oppressed people in Egypt, yet nevertheless, God was with them in the midst of their suffering. I don't need to tell you how directly this hits home to us, and especially reminds us of the great work of Jesus Christ in our life and how He is present with us even in the midst of our suffering. Look, we rejoice in the good times and the easy times and the happy times that God allows us to enjoy, but we're going to be real about life and admit that there's a measure of suffering that we all have to endure in our life, in the past, in the present, or maybe it's waiting for us in the future. The good message of Exodus chapter 1 is that God is present with us in the midst of it all. So we're going to be talking about these great themes. Listen, I'm very excited about the start of this new book. I want you to be read up, in other words, read through Exodus chapter 1. I want you to be prayed up. Pray that God would speak to you and that God would speak to others there in the midst of that time together that we spend in His Word. And pray that this coming Sunday at Calvary Chapel, Santa Barbara, God will use it to build up His people, to glorify Himself, and to bring a message of hope and even rescue, real salvation to those who need it so much. So join us this Sunday, whether it's in person, whether it's online through the live stream that we have starting at 11 o'clock on Sundays Pacific time. But join us with a prepared heart and an open Bible.